Hi, I'm Lisa. Welcome to my channel. This is my random recipes. These are the desserts. Today I'm working on cakes. Today's recipe comes from my Aunt Lois. When I acquired my grandma's recipes, there was an entire composition book full of recipes from my Aunt Lois. So Aunt Lois's recipes are a collection within a collection. When I was organizing the recipes for my cookbook, I noticed that some of Aunt Lois's recipes seemed kind of strange, but now that I've tried a few, she's won me over. Today's recipe is called Aunt Lois's Fresh Apple Cake. It isn't quite autumn here yet, but it's definitely headed in that direction, so it seems like good timing for this recipe. I had never made this recipe, I had never eaten this recipe, so we get to find out whether or not Aunt Lois's winning streak will continue. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with our dry ingredients. This is 2 cups of all-purpose flour, so it's going to go into my sifter, and then we're going to add a teaspoon of ground cinnamon and 2 teaspoons of baking soda. I'm going to sift those together. Okay, that looks good. Alright, so then I'm going to set that aside for a moment, and then we're going to move on to our wet ingredients. And this is like a really, actually pretty simple recipe. The most difficult part about it is cutting up the apples. I used Golden Delicious apples today. So I used 4 of them. It's supposed to have 4 cups of apples that are peeled, cored, and sliced. So this is the size apple I used. So I got 4 apples out of it, so about a cup per apple. So let me go drain these. I had them soaking in water with a little bit of lemon juice in them, so that while they were sitting here, they weren't going to turn all brown. Then we're going to add 2 cups of sugar, 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I'm going to combine these, kind of toss them in the sugar, and I'm sure the little bit of moisture that's in there will help the sugar to dissolve. Try to be careful so I don't end up making them fly out onto the table. I'm trying to make sure I get all the sugar dissolved, kind of stirred in, combined. That's pretty good. So I'm going to bring in my flour mixture. Okay, and we'll put the apples in there. We'll combine these. Make sure we get the flour all kind of combined in there. Well, this is going to be more apple than cake. 4 cups of apple and only 2 cups of flour, so it definitely is more apple than cake. And I noticed too there's no egg in this. So I don't think well, there's baking soda, but that's the only thing that's going to give it any leavening. This is going to bake in a 9x13. Dump that in there. Spread this out. I say literally, it is literally more apple than cake. This is going to be interesting. Let's see how this turns out. See if Aunt Lois has another winning recipe or not. This is going in a 325-degree oven. It's going to bake for about an hour. I'm going to pause my camera, and I will come back when we're done. I'm back. The cake has fully baked. I let it cool for a while so I can handle it. I'll show you. Turn this down so you get to see what I've got. I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece out of this. I checked it at 50 minutes. It came out clean with a toothpick, but I wanted it to be a little browner, so I let it go the extra 10 minutes. So it did bake right at an hour. Okay, it's kind of crumbly. The bottom of it's kind of caramelized. Kind of fell apart as I was taking it out, but it kind of held together. I'll give this a taste. The bottom part, I say, is kind of soft and almost caramelized. That's definitely a piece of apple. This is the part from the bottom that was kind of caramelized. I want to get a taste of the top part because it looks crumbly. It's definitely crunchy on top. It's almost like the whole thing is in layers. So there's the top layer is the crunchy part. The middle portion is the apples and the caramely stuff. And the bottom I'll show you what the bottom looks like. It's kind of dark and caramelized too. This is definitely more apple than cake. It did puff up rather well. I mean, there's no leavening in it except 2 teaspoons of baking soda. So that was all that was for leavening. It's pretty simple as far as making. It only took me 10 minutes to put it together. The prep time. The hardest part of the prep time was I was preparing the apples. It's good. It's definitely different. I think it'd be good with a vanilla ice cream on top of that. Most people like to bake with Granny Smith apples because of their tartness. I used a sweet apple today. This cake really isn't all that sweet. I mean, it doesn't have a frosting or anything, so it's not super sweet anyway. So I don't feel too guilty about using the sweeter apple. But you feel free to use whatever kind of apple you like. I want to warn you, I will not be recording a video for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to be taking a vacation. Yay! It's been almost 2 years now since I began my channel, and I have recorded a video and posted a video every single week since then. I'm going to be taking a fun trip. I'm getting kind of excited. I'll share more about my trip when I get back. In the meantime, I will include the ingredients and the preparation for Aunt Lois's fresh apple cake in the description below. You're going to be seeing a lot from Aunt Lois in the future. She figures prominently when we get to the cookie. If you have any questions or other feedback for me, please feel free to reach out to me in the comments. I really do love hearing from you. It just really makes my day. If you do try this cake, let me know what you think of it by dropping an emoji into the comments that you feel is appropriate to express your opinion. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate that. It helps my channel to continue to grow. Thank you for joining me on my journey through the desserts and specifically the cakes. I'm sorry you can't join me on my journey on my vacation. I look forward to seeing you again in a couple of weeks. Hopefully I'll be all refreshed and ready to go. See you then.